form. Form is literally one of the most important aspects that you're going to need to learn when you first start lifting in the gym. I'm going to start talking about warm up. But your form will either make or literally break you when you're going up in weight, when you're doing uncomfortable weight, whether you have a spotter or not. Your form may determine whether or not you have, it's going to determine whether or not you have longevity within the lifting space. Okay? Now, what I mean by that, if you watch a lot of, hold on, I'm going to change the angle. If you watch any gym fail video, you'll see that a lot of those people's form, they either don't care about their form, they care about getting the weight up, or it's too much weight for them to handle. Like outside of machines breaking, for the most part, if you fail in the gym, it's really a matter of strength, quite literally, and or form, or a combination of the both. Because if you go up too high, too quickly, you are literally going to fail. And that may lead to injury. That's going to leave you out for 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, which leaves a lot of gains on the table. You may not be able to work out the same way ever again because you decided that you wanted to lift as much as humanly possible that day instead of shooting for controlled reps for a weight that you could actually do with at least 80% effort. Okay. Now, obviously, I have reasons why I focus on form, which is why I'm making this video. But they're good, bro. Which is why I make this video, because recently I made a post on Instagram showing that if the weight is too heavy, sometimes it's very difficult to control. And someone commented that just go up in weight, you need to be super intense with the workout or whatnot. But I don't want to get injured, and I train by myself. I'm not trying to get hurt for none of y'all, okay? I'm broke. I got no money. I need to look how much an injury is to fix. But that's the reason why I train the way I train. All right, so we're hitting the barbell row, but we're going to try to shoot for about 8. Or we're going to shoot for 9 reps for each set. See if we improve from last week. I took a week off from the gym because it was my birthday week last week. So we're going to hit this for the first set. We're shooting for 9. See what happens. Just keep in mind, if I can't hit this, I've been eating like crap all week. Huh. 8, 9. So we shot for 9, but we're going to rest for about 4 minutes or so. That was a rough set. I'm assuming because I haven't rode in a week, but we're going to see. But as you just saw, at these around the end there, if there wasn't any, like muscle imbalances when pulling up, like one side stronger than the other, I definitely started struggling at the end with my grip, which is kind of why you need grips. But I don't really like working like that because I do slow growth anyway, right? But perfect form, practicing perfect form all the time is like practicing footwork for your martial arts. It's like practicing your addition before you go to algebra, your multiplication before you go to physics, your variables, all the other stuff. Your form is the base of everything you do before you even start advancing, before you even start going higher in weight, before you start acting more athletic. Your form is going to matter over everything. It will. It's going to make or break you. Okay? 2 reasons why. Okay? One of those reasons is that your perfect form is going to plug all the little power gaps. When your form is breaking, what you'll find out is that your strength is leaking, at least in the muscle group that you want to work, is leaking to other parts of your body. So for me, when I'm here, on the barbell row. If I start to fail on the barbell row, either my lower back will try to overcompensate for it. So I try to, as I'm bouncing up, but I just do. No, but no, but when I'm rowing, my lower back will try to compensate. Or if my grip's the problem, or start like flip flopping, just to try to get the weight up. I'm not sure if I did it in this specific video, but I'll rewatch the footage. Which is why it's important to like record yourself sometimes, because you may not know, you may not see it, or you need a coach. You may not know where to see it, but that's besides the point. But the second reason is so that part of the reason why um I don't really care about injuries, because when you're working out, sometimes the body parts that your body tries to overcompensate for when your form is weak or the weight's too heavy is try to use other parts of your body. Another example, rear delts. If my form's crappy on my rear delts, what'll tend to happen is that I'll start using my arms, start using my biceps, start using my triceps, start using my forearms as a way to push out the weight instead of like relying on my rear delt to do the movement. But hope that made sense. We're gonna rest for 2 more minutes, and then we'll probably hit this weight. Oh, we're gonna try to go for no. I'll be fine. Like even if it's 8.5, that's a good enough advancement for me. But I feel it. I feel it. I feel like it feels the same way. I might feel a little bit more on my left side than my right side, but we're gonna work on that as time goes on. We're gonna try to focus more on our next set to try to hit our right side more than our left side. But yeah, focus on when I am lifting the weight and how I measure how good my form is obviously I record and I have a trainer I go to every month to show him my videos or whatnot and making sure that my form's straight. Like something that for here. Now we talked about it, and it might be the shoes I'm wearing because my feet aren't flat. But when I'm lifting, sometimes my feet might lightly come off the ground because I'm trying to like balance the weight out. And then also something that he noticed that sometimes my head is like looking up or looking down or looking somewhere else than like where my spine's supposed to be, because I might mess up my spine, that might mess up my neck sometime in the future, and you won't notice it until you like get older, you start noticing it. But the whole point is that you want some other eyes on it when you first start lifting, if you can, so you can get your form right. And then I'm gonna talk about the other two ways I measure for how good my form is, or the other ways I measure my form after I hit the set. So once again, 9. It's kind of a rough 9, but I do hit the reps, so I don't feel like I'm challenging myself too much when I'm picking this up. So that last rep was rough, and my hands were giving out. Oh my goodness! Hold on, let me see if I can get my hands look like. Hold up. Yeah, that's what my hands be looking like. My grip, I need to most certainly work on my grip. But as you can kind of see, I was kind of stretching there, but it wasn't like more than 5 seconds worth of stuff. And if it was more than 5 seconds, it's, you know, if it's been long, okay? But that's why I rewatch footage. Sometimes I'll be counting how well I did and then checking how I improved. I put a mental note in my head, so the next time I go into the gym, I know exactly what I need to work on. But yeah, that's just exercise. Next up is, oh no, I'm gonna do triceps or rear delts. I'll probably do tricep first, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so the two ways that I measure how good my form is how I'm able to control the weight. Okay, the way I measure and the way I do it is by bar speed. All right, I give myself and other people 1 to 5 seconds to get their weight up, or else, to me, it's a fail. To me, it's a fail in the rep because you, like anything past five, if you can't get it up in like 5 seconds, your form is breaking somewhere more than likely. Your form is breaking. That may lead to injuries. Um, it's just an ugly sight. Okay, when I see those ego lifters taking 8 seconds to put the weight all the way up there, they start arching their back more. And the thing is, you'll see me do it too, especially on the bench press, on the incline bench press, because you'll see me start arching my back a lot more on the incline when I'm struggling on the last reps of the last set. And I'll start arching my back a little bit because my shoulders and my chest are starting to weaken, and I'm just trying to force it up there. I don't know which muscle group that is, but that's what I tend to do, and I can feel it in my back because I try to pay attention to what my body's telling me. I don't even know how much this was. I feel like I did 10 on both sides, but if not, the whole point, I'm just trying to talk to you guys about this stuff anyway, okay? But controlling the weight, if you see those videos where, like the Gym Reaper and those guys, and they'll just like push it up there or do something crazy, push it up there. Like when the Gym Reaper does that whole 225 where he's like pushing it up, clapping and pushing it up. That's so impressive to me because try doing that with 135. How many of y'all can do that? The coordination, the stamina, all that other stuff. I couldn't even dream of doing that in my head. But basically, when you see those really big powerlifter guys, really big, gym influencers who are able to do really heavy, they're able to make heavyweight look light, and you know that because the bar speed is going, they're just busting it out, and I measure that with bar speed, 1 to 5 seconds. Another test is the seizure test, I call it, because something that I remember when I am, especially for like deadlifts and stuff, if I start to shake on the rep that I'm doing it on, unless it's like maybe my first set and I got to get warm first with the set, like that's a bad sign for me because that means either my elbow, my joints are messing up, I'm trying to overcompensate with my arms or my legs, or I'm overcompensating somewhere and I won't feel it either. I might feel it in the moment or I'm going to feel it tomorrow. But the whole point is that I don't want to be shaking when I'm doing my reps. Because that's a sign that I might get injured. Because if I'm up in here and I'm like ego lifting and I'm like, I could do more than that, and I try to lift more and I'm already shaking on the weight I'm doing right now, that's a great sign that I might get injured permanently. Or I might halt my progress by doing so. But anywho, my last point was the pace of how you're able to lift the weight. Okay, so going back to my example of the gym influencers or like the Gym Reaper able to like to bust out the heavy weights for and make it look light. If the pace of your weight is the same or near the same, between obviously the 1 to 5 second range, but is around the same weight level of the same time. So like if for the first set I'm doing 135 and I'm able to pick up the weight within 2 seconds, but on the last reps of the last sets, I'm doing, say, like I'm barely making to 4.5 seconds. That's still like around the same pace that you want it to be at. You don't want to be struggling sometimes not struggling, that type of stuff. Um, and if you are, just go down in weight. I do that. I did that last time for my last chest day. Don't be ashamed in doing that, guys. Just go down, get the reps done. You'll grow anyway. You'll get stronger over time. Just add one rep. Just add one rep to your lifting, and you'll be fine. 100%. You don't need to rush it. That's how you get injured permanently or injured for a very long time. TLDW. Just make sure the bar speed is moving the same length for the same length of time from when you start to when you finish each set. Okay, that's the goal. If it doesn't happen, that's okay. It's not like a perfected, you got to do it, military do or die type stuff. It's just, I want you to be safe. I want you to be mindful. And that's what I do to be mindful. That's what I do to be safe. But yeah, a couple of things that I like keeping in mind when it comes to my form. I think it's three things. I'm gonna see if I can come up with it. So, a couple of things that I keep in mind when it comes to form is the set ends when if my form breaks. And when I like if my form breaks, I mean like if um if I'm lifting the weight and something drastic happens, like if I lean over to one side and the weights fall off, or if I start failing and I think I could push some more and I don't have a spotter and I'm like and I just drop the weight all the way down to wherever it's at. That's just the end of the rep. I mean, that's the end of the set. It is both end of the rep and end of the set. I don't try to push anymore after that because clearly I did something wrong and I'm not trying to push past that. Now, if you have a spotter there, I think that changes a whole lot, but I usually train for people who train by themselves, who are shy and don't want to bother other people. Because I don't expect to have a spotter with me at all times. I don't expect that. I know I can ask, but sometimes I want to get in and out, and I don't want people to be upset about the camera that I have recording me. That so happens to have them in the background. But I'm gonna hit these pull-ups. I'm gonna talk about the second thing I do to check my form. Okay. We're hitting these wide grip pull-ups, see what happens. I did 12 of those. My goal is to 12 to do 3 of those until I, go up in weight, but I don't have my strap with me. Other things I keep in mind, at least 3 minutes. Two other things I keep in mind when it comes to form is one, I have a grading system. So over here on my weight, I consider it like a negative grade. So if I had an A in the barbell row, I would go down by at least a neck point for I would go down at least one neck point if my form was messing up at some point. Okay, I'm a little bit harsher on myself for that because I care about injury. For example, when I was rewatching footage for my barbell row, I noticed that my feet were sometimes wobbling coming off the ground, or sometimes there would be like very small but noticeable um, times where I'm lifting with one arm more than the other, or one part of the back more than the other. Um, but it's not like so bad to where like I need to change stuff. Like even another example, at least for the barbell, the bench press, is that when I was doing the barbell dumb press, the barbell, the dumbbell, the dumb bar, whatever, the dumbbell incline press, I would be, I would be, one arm would be stronger than the other. And I would keep working at it until both arms were as strong as the other. Okay. But, I keep a back of my head. Okay. It wasn't a good set, but it also wasn't a bad one, but I have stuff to work on for each, exercise that I do. If you don't know how the form looks like, just go on YouTube. But, the second thing I keep in mind is mastery of the weight. So like I don't move above the weight that I'm working at until I can do at least 10 to 12 cleanly, with very little form mistakes. Because you're not going to get perfect form every time. Your goal should be perfect form, but if you don't, hey, don't beat yourself too much about it. Okay, I messed up today, and I'm telling y'all about it. But shut up. The whole point of making is that you should really care about your form because it may lead to worse injuries in the future that may hold you back from your full potential because you're trying to ego lift at a younger age without any type of, you know, future thinking, prudence, that type of stuff. But, I think after this, I'm going to tell you about how, I would go about looking at my form, checking to see what I need to change and what to do about it. Okay, I'm not gonna hold you. I watched the footage from the last that I did. Y'all didn't even see me do the pull-ups, but things I want to keep in mind when it comes to like checking my form, see how I do, is one, how many reps am I doing? So like, I have this thing for D and C grades. C grades is when I hit like 7 or less. So C for me is 7 reps because I should not be going any heavier, but any lighter may not be like maybe smart either. Anything lower than 7, I'm like, okay, cool. I gotta take a feed week to see what I'm doing wrong and do some self-analysis. So feed is an acronym I use. The F is for foundation, which is basically form. But you should be recording yourself if you're able to, and making sure that record yourself and then show somebody who's an expert or someone who knows a lot, or post it on social media. Be like, hey guys, I think my form's crappy. Can someone show me where I'm at or what I'm doing wrong or whatever? Okay. The second thing, oh no, I already talked about that. The third thing is if I record myself or I notice that my form breaks and for like any major lift, I start doing isolation exercises. I start going to dumbbells or I start using machines, just to build that muscle up because I don't want to, overcompensate for stuff that I don't have. That's the third thing. I almost completely forgot. But like right now, I don't think I really need it currently, but obviously, I have somebody I meet up with every single month. I meet up with him, I think around the end of the month to show him my videos and my form and stuff. But anything else? There's a couple other things, but I'm forgetting. So we're gonna hit this last one. If we hit 12, we're hitting like major PRs today, I think. Even if it's like 8.5 for the barbell row, that's still progress to me. My goal is 10 or 9 in this last one, because last time we did pull-ups, I think we did 12, 12, and 6. But we'll see. 2 step. Okay. We did 10. So, amen. So, if you don't take anything else from this video and you skip all the way to the end, you don't really care about nothing else. Okay? I care that you guys stop with the ego lifting. Okay? You doing the bench press and having an arc like the McDonald's arc is dangerous, whether you like it or not. Okay? Whether you like it or not. It can lead to injury. Let me just go to 60. Like I'm usually used to doing 9. Oh, this is why. Hold up. Wait a minute. Jesus. Hold up. Yeah, that's why. Let's go to 80, see what happens. But start with the ego lifting. It's not worth it. Okay, it's really not. You deciding to try to push past your limits and then getting a pec torn. It's not worth it, guys. And have the mindset of like, if you want to be in this space for more than 40 plus years, doing everything that you're doing now, if you admire some of the older people at the gym who are able to do some crazy lifting feats or whatnot, then please consider what I am saying when it comes to form over everything. Jeez, ooh, form over everything. But you don't have to just rely on that. I'm gonna leave a checklist in the description down below and make sure you're straight. You can copy it into your notes. You can copy it into your notes. You can share with a friend, whatever you want to do, and just make sure you keep that in mind. But yeah, I'll see y'all in a little bit. But no, you know what? That's it for today. Subscribe, like, share with a friend. If you like the clothes, triumphathleta.net, code MINT, MIN to the T. That's it. Adios.